It is an ominous sway to that music. And the ominous stuff comes from two stories that we're going to start with. Where we go, who knows? Spin the wheel. Nobody knows where it's going to stop. First story you raised. So you go ahead and mention this one.
Well, apparently the United States is how to get rid of some illegal foreigners. People with their coming to hold the American dream are going to have to go by way of Rwanda and Libya, and prisons in Rwanda and Libya to hold them. And so I have visions of the Holocaust, if you want to know the truth.
It's sounding apocalyptic in the sense that these things are unusual, abnormal, and now let's use some form of the idea of evil. This is evil stuff that's being concocted.
And then you show me signs of prisoners of ICE, I guess, on the White House lawn, posters of them posted all along the walkway.
Yeah, the roadway.
The roadway posted
outside the White House.
People that have been imprisoned. Why would you do that? And Terry and I were talking about Nero, and maybe they're going to have them, impaled on sticks and set on fire to light the way.
Well,
it's just weird.
We think of the brutality of the Roman Empire, or even in the Middle Ages when people conquered villas and villages, they would take their enemies and put their heads on spikes and put them in the ground or hang them from the entranceways of the cities.
Or impale them,
or put them in cages until they died of starvation outside the medieval castles. They'd have these human cages.
And isn't it funny how you've got Rome with the
tortures,
and then you got Nazi Germany with the same sort of mentality, and now we're going into the United States with the same sort of mentality. And to me, history, have you not learned? You're going to end up being the evil race. You're going to end up being the evil ones on this side of history. And they seem to go in it with their pretty little blondes and everybody repeating lies all over the place.
What is it with blondes and crosses?
Yeah, well,
Kayleigh McEnany.
You know how I feel about
Caroline Levitt.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on with that typical image now?
Yeah.
The Trump world, MAGA, Mar-a-Lago. Who goes? Blondes with crosses? Is that the stereotype of? Maybe that's Trump's type. I don't know. But the first story that you were talking about is one that was mentioned in AOL. So that's the first story when we came up upon this. White House wants to use prisons in more foreign countries to detain migrants. And the picture is of
We're talking just
Trump.
migrants here, by the way.
Sorry?
We're just talking migrants, not evil, wicked people, just migrants.
That's right. You showed up at the wrong place at the wrong time, and you did not come via, what is it, the $5 million gold coin?
Oh, jeez. That's another thing. You can get into the United States if you put up $5 million, and people are cheering that.
Yes.
People will be cheering that. This is glorious.
Other people are saying it's an obvious appeal to Russian money laundering. What a great way to get your money laundered. Pay $5 million cash and let Trump launder the money in the U.S.
I hope Carney makes an offer to the United States to purchase
California?
the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, the Statue of Liberty.
Where it says, bring us your weak, your poverty,
Bring us your oligarchs and launder our money.
Now it's bring us all your rich and your wealth and everything else. And with this gold fetish as well. So I just don't see a pretty future here, Terry.
No, not at all. And this is public record. This is the stories of public record, so it's not secret. It's not in the archives anywhere, hidden away. It's not a leaked document or anything. This is public reporting. So here's to the mainstream media public reporting, vetting their stories, and I still AOL. America Online. What?
Well, did you hear the other story about at the border of Mexico turning it into a military base so that the military can arrest without trial, anybody along, make it the longest
so
military.
The base is going to be where the highway passes?
The wall, yeah.
the wall, through the wall.
I think it's 165 miles or something, maybe more than that, I don't know. But that would become a military base, which means the military can arrest you without cause, no matter who you are. You wander on that. If you're a backpacker and you wander onto that land, you can be arrested and held for whenever.
Well,
Doesn't that
just
sound
to
weird?
Point out that you and I on our Winnebago trip to Area 51, we would be trespassing and
Yes.
we could be held
Yeah.
indefinitely.
But we'd have the aliens to help us. So no.
You would think so. Speaking of, okay, this will. Have we finished with this
Yeah,
AOL
that's
story
fine,
of?
yeah. I
That's
just thought it was interesting. that
Rubio
they're-
and Trump are in negotiations. That's the picture that has, and the idea is that it's Libya and Rwanda.
Yeah.
What on earth are they saying that those two countries are the source of most of the?
Well, one of them's almost in the makes of another civil war or something, civil unrest. Anyways,
Rwanda, I would say, is the one that we're talking
I
about.
would think you might be surprised though, but yeah, I think it is Rwanda. But so it's not going to be the nicest place to go, and you're not going to be looked after.
You're
the
not going to get a
nicest.
way out.
Yeah, no way out.
No way
They
out.
just
It's a
kill you when
one-way-
they run out of the room. They kill you.
Jeez. So okay, AOL is the source of the one story. That's just the one we pulled up. But you can.
But I
check
heard it
your
on
sources.
CNN, eh?
You
So-
heard it on CNN, and the other story is reported on CBS News.
Yeah.
And that's the one with the photographs.
That's scary.
You might as well do the medieval torture thing and put all these people's bodies on poles and tie them up for everybody to see in some public display of, aren't we great? We have power over all these people. We're getting rid of them. They're illegals and we hate them. We loathe them. Throw eggs at them. Throw tomatoes. These are
Well,
the
for
people
my
we-
Christian friends, remember what the Bible said: be kind to the
the least of
foreigner.
us.
Be kind to the foreigner because you were once a foreigner in this land yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Treat them equally. Equally. Not lock them into prisons in some foreign
And
land.
throw away the keys.
Throw away the key.
Okay, so where were we going with after this? You mentioned something back here, and I forget what it was before we wrapped up these two stories.
Well, I just
the
talked
question-
about. I talked about just the military base, but we did that. So
The military base,
Being-
at the
being-
border between Mexico.
yeah.
Okay, what military base would be on the border with Canada then?
Well, the thing is I think part of the concern is making bigger military bases where you wander in,
But you don't wander out.
you don't wander out. And so the idea would be, let's say it's a great big military base in New Mexico, or anywhere where the border is. And then how do you get rid of the people? You kind of force them to wander in.
How do you?
Mass integration. Well, you let them think they're making it,
Oh, and then round them up.
and then you round them up.
Interesting. What do you think of the war on the cartels? Have you heard about that one?
I haven't heard if they've been successful at all.
You know they're using Reaper drones. Reapers are weaponized drones. They're not just using them for reconnaissance, but they're strike drones.
Well, I don't mind there being war against cartels.
They're illegal.
I know,
They're
but
criminal.
you need the Mexican government to approve it.
You would think if you're attacking on Mexican
Their
sovereign
property, yeah.
territory,
So you make an agreement. Can we? And you just inform the president.
who would agree to that?
Well, I don't know if it's going to solve the problem both ways. It could be win-win because these people are bad. These cartels.
They're butchers.
So you make that agreement. We'll pay for it. And instead of paying for the wall, we'll pay for
Oh,
the
boy,
drones to
here
go
we
in
go.
and take out the cartel.
Did Mexico ever pay for the wall? Mexico's not going to pay for any drones.
Well, it
Yeah.
depends who you talk to. Because if you talk to Luck,
Yep.
he says that, oh, yeah, they paid. You know how they paid? Because they brought up 10,000 troops. Do you know how many troops were at the border before that? 20,000 under Biden.
So
Mexican troops, I'm talking.
How do you frame that as a success and a win? And how do you frame that as
Well, he says
Mexico paid
the,
for it?
The cost of the Mexican army, I'm assuming this is what he meant. But it's all just bull, as you know.
Yeah.
And besides that, the number of people protecting the border, touche for the president of Mexico because they actually decreased, saying we're sending 10,000.
Mexico's saving money.
Yeah, we're saving money. So she's a smart cookie.
The art of the deal, Mexican style. Bye-bye for now.